There we go. The predictions are open, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the American Terran player, the yellow Terran representing Berserker Esports. It is FoxeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is EON. We go. Here we go. We have our ZVT. FoxeR opening up with a Rax on the high ground. EON opening up with a hatch first. We have our initial opener so far. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking standard. The reason why I was so surprised to... The locus there. The reason why I was so surprised that we were loading into this map is, again, because of the short rush distance by ground. Very short rush distance by ground. So aggressive builds, roach rushes, 8 Raxes, those sorts of more aggressive plays are more commonplace and more favored here on a smaller map. So I'm curious if either one does embrace that. I'm sure EON will. EON is known for his aggression. He can be quite cheesy, very unorthodox, and very in your face. We saw some of that earlier today against his series versus Duck, or I Am Winner. And we'll see how he does compare to FoxeR. SV Scouts moving out. CC on the low ground. So far, standard build out of FoxeR. And EON is going hatch gas pool. Likewise, no gases builds, no gas first either. So far, so good. So far, so good. Is EON from here going to be joining on up? Saturating his bases. The other difficult thing about this map is the third base location. The reason why I say this, as the drone is moving out, is that there is only one third base option, so it is easier to deny the expansion. Yeah, the SV and the Reaper, they will zone the drone away, and the expansion is going to be denied. Ooh, and there's no saving the drone. The drone does go down. Massive pickup. Second worker has arrived and doesn't get here in time. Oh no! Oh my god. Whew. Barely does. Yeah, the drone does arrive. Third base has been thrown down. In the end, EON does expand, or is able to. I'm sure that's a big reason why the drone went all the way to the bottom right, to try and drag the Reaper away to buy time for the second worker to actually take an expansion. EON gets his third. Is a little bit delayed. Did cost him a worker, but does get it. Behind this, FoxeR going for a third CC. That is true, but that is a Rax, not a starport. So it's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 out of FoxeR. Something much more assertive, something much more aggressive in a way. This is going to be leading into a stim timing in the mid game, alongside a handful of Hellions with Medivacs, of course, as well. Now, this does mean that the Hellion count should be lower. We should be getting up to at most 4 Hellions, not more than that, and there's no Banshees either. What does this mean? This means that EON can be greedier in the early game, but he's rushing into a lair. Oh my god. Okay. EON rushing into a lair instead has made quite an amount of links as well to gain map control. FoxeR's hunting for those links with the Hellions, and he will find them. It does react in time. Does get a nice volley off on those links initially, but we're looking for the surround. The Hellions are exposed, and can we get them? We get one! A nice catch here from EON. Catches one Hellion flooding into the main base. The wall is not a wall. Marine goes down as well. The Hellion does pull away. Does have a nice choke point. But again, the Hellion should fall. Oof. Boys are being pulled. No SCVs here on the low ground. 2, 3 SCVs going to be going down. EON gets a full scout of the main and deals critical damage. He strips away any map control by killing all the Hellions, and he gets 10 SCVs. 10 workers and a mule. EON does take a massive lead behind this. He's not done. Remember the fast lair? It is for Overlord Speed. And what is Overlord Speed for? Dropalords. A German taxi, if you will. Let's go. The Costa Rican omnibus. That's the queens are pulling together. Dropalords are getting ready. And there it is. The Dropalords are on the way. EON is going for an all-in. He's going for a Ling Queen Dropalord all-in. And FoxeR is already hurting. Again, because he lost his Hellions, no scouting. 0 scouting for FoxeR. He has no idea what's coming his way. Is throwing down a safety bunker, thankfully. FoxeR, I'm sure he's familiar with EON. I'm sure he's familiar with the aggression from a Zerg of the caliber of EON as well. So FoxeR's playing it safe. And Stim will finish. But there's going to be no tanks. So just purely Marine with Stim and one bunker. Here come the Dropper Lords. And Link's coming to support. It's going to be how many queens? 4. Sorry, 5. 5 queens. And a massive amount of Lings. And he's going for the dive. Dropping on top of the ramp. Boys are being pulled so far. The Marines do kite well. Yeah, Lings are melting. And it looks like FoxeR should hold. Yeah, FoxeR will clean this up. This was not ideal. Does get 10 SCVs, but that was not worth it for EON. Oof. Again, the bunker coming in clutch. The movement by the Marines as well. FoxeR will shut this down, even catching the Dropper Lords. And despite EON having the lead early on, now suddenly, he may have lost that lead. EON may have just lost that lead here as he threw away a lot of supply, a lot of Dropper Lords. EON is supply blocked and is getting into an infestation pit now. Okay. Swarm Host or Fungal Growth or Infestors. It should be Infestors, right? It's like, it should be Infestors, but EON is an animal. So he could do something crazy, he could do something wild. I imagine it's going to be fast Infestors though, just to keep him safe. Yeah, there we go. Infestors are on the way. Thanks to the Infestor, EON will be able to survive against the first bio push. He's got a Changeling in the mix as well. Don't be suspicious. EON does spot the move out. He's a part of the move out, actually. EON's coming. EON is getting right back at home. 26 more Lings on the way. And EON, he is waiting to land that Fungal. Infestor soon to arrive. Changelings do get caught out. EON getting ready. Again, that is a lot of Marines though. FoxeR does them in, does catch a queen. And where's the Fungal? It's coming in. Ooh, does connect, but no anti-air. Yeah, the drops will get away, boosting into the main. There's one Fungal left, as there were 2 Infestors. Oh, the drop does go off, but alas, it's going to be forced to pick up, and EON holds. EON barely holds on. FoxeR getting his 3rd base on location. EON, his 4th, is under fire. And FoxeR will deny the 4th base. EON had such a massive lead earlier, but is struggling here as the game progresses. Still has that Fungal. Up! Does land, but doesn't quite catch the Marines. Only a handful of them. FoxeR can keep this going. And as the drop play continues, a massive shout out to Ursa TV in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And a big shout out to Ursa TV and to Stegosaurus as well for hosting, for sponsoring the event. Did give a shout out earlier. Speaking of, bam. There we go. Shout out to Ursa TV and Stegosaurus. Much love. Without them, this event could not be possible. And EON holds. Now, EON was forced to cancel the 4th base. True, the 4th base was denied. But EON does survive, getting to more Infestors, getting to 1-1. What I will say is that FoxeR is primed to maintain this lead and skyrocket ahead here. He's on 3 bases, has the upgrade, or is soon to get into 1-1. Tanks are amassing as well. EON still has some catching up to do. But what I will say is that with these Infestors, he has potential. Even with a smaller army, can it catch FoxeR out? Speaking of, FoxeR is moving out, is pushing. The Changeling doesn't quite spot the army, but FoxeR does reel himself. Oh, and EON has no Banelings ready, just purely Ling Infestor. He has to engage. It's going to be brutal. Fungals will connect, but there's not enough Lings. And FoxeR is snowballing out of control. He breaks through the Lings, breaks through the Infestors. And there's nothing left. And only a handful of queens remain. FoxeR stims on forward. And he's going for the mineral line, going for the economy, the expansion. GG, FoxeR takes game number 1. GG. An impressive defense out of FoxeR. For those who maybe tune in a little bit later, EON did go initially for a Link Flood and did do a critical amount of damage. He was able to get a massive lead, was ahead in workers, was ahead in army, and EON followed it up with an all-in, with a Ling Queen Dropper Lord all-in. Unfortunately for EON, FoxeR was ready for it. FoxeR had bunkers ready. He was able to kite away, pulling some boys, only lost 10 SCVs, and after that failed all-in. FoxeR did snowball out of control and did lead into that game state. And we'll see if EON can bounce back. I want to believe he can. I want to believe he can, as we're going to be loading into a much larger map. Going to be loading into Alcyone. Let's go. Just catching up. But thank you, Ursa TV. Gifted subs to NJW Boom, Voodoo, Jeffers, Dr. Dre. Oh. Here we go. Alright, jumping in. And here we go. We have our lobby made. We're just getting our lobby set up. We had some casters dip in for a moment. Again, shout out to all the other English casters or community casters out there. Enki's also casting this in Spanish. We have Rocklets casting in Portuguese or in Brazilian. And everyone else involved. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our American Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing Berserker Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is FoxeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is EON. Here we go. Again, EON had a very strong start in the last game, but did stumble towards the finish line there. Was not able to close it out, and did lose his lead as a result. Oh, this time, pool first. Okay, you have my attention, EON. Do you have? It's going to be a pool first opener. We could end up headed towards a gasless opener. I don't know if EON is that kind of player to go gasless. We'll see. I'm referring to a pool into hatchery into another expansion. Pool hatch. Speaking of, first hatchery is on the way. And we'll see if EON goes for another expansion or a gas geyser. Back at home, FoxeR is just going for a racked expand. Standard opener from our Yellow Terran. Yeah, it's going to be the gas. Okay. It is going to be a gas follow-up. So because the gas geyser is so late, this could be EON going into roaches behind this. That would make sense. We have our initial 6 lings. And the goal here, the ideal for EON, is to avoid the Reaper. To avoid the initial Reaper, SCV Scout is moving out. FoxeR will confirm it is a pool first. FoxeR will be aware to be ready for these lings. But knowing is still only half the battle. So we get lings do move out. SCV Scout comes in. Does confirm the hatchery is late. Now FoxeR knows. Oh, throws out the spray. FoxeR is aware. Reaper is spotted by the Overlord. And EON does divert his path. EON, he was about to go towards the left, but now he does pivot towards the right instead. Trying to avoid that initial Reaper. And his goal here is to get to that SCV. The Overlord does confirm the Reaper is back home. And EON pulls away. If the Reaper had moved out, then EON can punish. But the Lings have to move back. And EON is investing into Ling speed, but more importantly, EON doesn't pull out. Gas is still being mined from, so this can still lead into roach aggression, or even something more sinister. Even just something like a fast lair, into a Nidus all in. I'm leaning more towards a Roach Warren. Leaning more in that direction. Back at home, FoxeR going 3cc, 3rd CC before Starport, economic follow-up here out of FoxeR. Should say standard economic build. Overlord is right outside the main. Curious. I mean, these Overlords from EON, like, part of me feels like they always look suspicious, Pappy, and I'm curious if we are going for a faster lair. Gas is being mined, and FoxeR is checking, at least making sure the Overlords do not get in. And Marine is on patrol. EON is aware. And EON is building up a lot of gas. 2 more gas guys are being thrown down. That's a lot of gas. And there is that Roach Warren. As EON is getting into Roach aggression, we do see FoxeR getting to his own 3cc Starport into Banshee. Banshee's on the way. That's going to be ideal against Roach-based aggression, just because, again, Roaches don't shoot up. It's a good way to scout and chip away at the army. Ooh, EON even scanning the natural, sees the gases. Yeah, big moment here for FoxeR. I think I said EON earlier, but FoxeR does scan, does confirm, is fully aware of the gases, and gases this early on should mean something crazy. Either Roach rush like this, or a fast lair into like 2 base Muta, which would also be crazy. Aliens are moving out, spotted by the Overlord. Roaches are on the way. EON still has not gotten a lair, by the way. This could just be an all-in. I'm curious if he's making links behind this. But now the Hellions are diving to the mineral line, but they're going to be denied. And the Roaches are revealed, and yep, we're link flooding. It's gonna be an all-in. There is no lair, there is no follow-up. There's just no plan B. It's all here. It's all on the line for EON. Just mass Roachling. There's no other plan, but and we realize what's going on. For the most part, FoxeR throws down bunkers. He's getting ready. He's praying back at home. Bunkers being thrown down. eBay as well. The Banshee has arrived. It's all or nothing for EON. I say that he is now droning. Okay, he's crazy. Did invest quite heavily into this Ling Ravager, but is droning up behind this. I mean, EON, he sees the wall. With the Overlord, he sees all the bunkers as well. The Vials! Oh my god. Casito, baby. Trying to be cheeky, the Vials, they will not connect. But the boys are being pulled. Ravager's going for the bunkers, and EON going to try and trade as efficiently as possible. Does get 7 SCVs, but it's still not enough damage. He still needs more. And Ravagers are being targeted. And EON gets 8 worker kills. But for so much. He threw away 30 Lings, 6 Ravagers, 2 Roaches. That was not worth it. Bearing in mind that FoxeR has a 3rd CC. That's the problem here. He has triple Mule production, triple SCV production, and FoxeR will soon expand and take the 3rd. I was okay with EON poking in and kind of threatening, but committing like that was brutal. And now EON is behind. EON, he is behind economically. The Hellions, they can threaten a dive as well. EON is going to be in trouble. Well, I mean, he is in trouble. Ooh. Snipes a Banshee, nicely done. Hellions, they threaten the dive. There are links to defend, and they will surround. Oh my god! The jukes! FoxeR does juke for a moment, but he will get surrounded, will be cleaned up. Very nice defense here by EON. The Banshee still wreaking havoc, getting 5 drone kills. Workers that EON cannot afford to lose. So EON is going for a Ling counterattack and does need to find some damage, but there are Marines back at home. Stim is done. The back off. Did get a kill on the bunker. That is some damage. Banshee getting 3 drones. That was 8 in total. EON still falling behind. Now, just like the last game, I do want to say that EON has a chance with these Infestors. We have 4 Infestors on the way, and even if EON is down in supply, he can still take a fight. But that's only if it's a biocomposition. We do have tanks building up behind this, Widow Mines as well. It is not going to be as clear cut. So there's still going to be a rough game state for EON. Not impossible, but does have a mountain to overcome. Behind this, 4th CC on the way. FoxeR building up towards a longer game state, a later game state. EON does spot the drop. Oh, he wants the fungal. He wants it. Oh, it's risky. Up. Oh, we'll catch some of the Marines. Only 3. Yeah, just 3 Marines get caught. That was 2 fungals. There's only 2 left. Every fungal is so precious, so crucial for EON. Does have to be careful. Takes a long time to regather energy. FoxeR does escape. Double drop on the right hand side. When EON doesn't have the largest army to work with. Spots the drop. Does respond. Meanwhile, FoxeR going for the 4th. The 4th is exposed. And EON is distracted. Trying to rush into Ultra Tech even. Bold move out of EON, but the 4th base, it's under fire. It's going to go down. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel either, as it did just finish. There's even a queen falling as well. Double drop into the main. EON is keeping up. EON does deflect. We have 5 ultras on the way. Let's go. My god. I don't think I've really seen many players go into a 3-base ultra before. That's crazy. Nice fungal. Not bad. Catches some of the Marines. That is 5 ultras. That is insane. Not the best upgrades, what I will say, but they're coming. Meanwhile, oh, does land the fungal. Yeah, the chain fungal as well. Once again, a nice catch from EON. Cleans up both drops, but still lost the 4th base. If he was able to save it, be a different story. FoxeR does clear up some of the creep. Ultras are scouted. FoxeR is aware. Now, upon seeing these ultras, FoxeR might just defend and turtle back at home. Right now, EON wants FoxeR to push in. Like, these ultras have actually a lot of power here on creep, especially. The light shot! Oh my god, massive connection. Links are going down. FoxeR just focusing on drop play. But if FoxeR is just going to... And yeah, he's turtling. He's got CCs on the way. He's got turrets soon to be on the way as well. FoxeR is walling up. Which means EON himself is also going to have the opportunity to max out. I'd love to see a double expansion. EON has a macro hatch at least. But the game should progress from here. I'm not too fond of the idea of EON going for a dive. It's a bold move for EON. Most of the tanks are here towards the south. There's only 1 tank here towards the north. EON will deny some of these command centers. Planetary is up and running. Yeah, EON will back off. Thankfully, doesn't commit. Gets a handful of SCVs. Forces FoxeR back home. But Liberators have now arrived. Ghost on the horizon as well. The Ghost Academy is done. FoxeR's refining his army. And EON is still not fully saturated. Does have a 4th at least. And is going for the gold. Like EON, he's almost there. He's stabilizing. Still needs more time. Triple drop towards the left. Another drop on the right. The crease spread is limited. And EON is not quite in position. Yeah, the entire army does respond at the same time. These models, they can deny the expansion. The Ultra Cavern, no! Oh my god, massive pickup. Ultra Cavern goes down. Fungal does not connect. EON at the same time going for the expansions, going for the 3rd. Shouldn't quite get it either. Forced to pick up. Links peeling off towards the 4th. And EON is about to max out. Now, what's interesting about this kind of game state is that EON will have a supermaxed army. He's on a very low drone count, but very large army supply. FoxeR bleeding out more Marines, taking another expansion. So despite the advantage that FoxeR has had, I do want to say that EON has a chance here. It's still not ideal. He still needs the gold to get up and running. Oh. Drops a catch a queen. I believe the Spire is done. Wait, I saw Spire earlier. The Spire was sniped! No! Earlier, it wasn't just the Ultra Cavern, it was the Spire as well. They both did go down. Without a Spire, no Corruptors. That was the plan. And there we go. Spire. We just noticed Spire is now being rebuilt. EON stuck without anti-air. And FoxeR, he has his late game army. He has Ghost Lib. EON does have the tools to deal with this if FoxeR moves out into the open. Like that's the ideal. EON wants to fight out here in the center of the map. On creep if at all possible. But liberation has arrived. There's too much freedom. And there's no anti-air. And EON, he has to engage. Goes to the microbial shroud. Oh my god. Okay. The tanks are exposed. Tanks are going to be going down. But what about the ghosts? The ghosts will lift. They will escape. EON cleans up most of the ground army, but he has no answer for the liberators. The power of Ghost Lib. EON will try to crash in towards the third. But the ghosts are on the hunt. These ultras, it's a one-way trip. They're all going to go down. The ultras, they melt, man. They're so squishy. They're getting some SCVs going for the planetary as well. Get into the mineral line. Not bad. 17 SCV kills. 20 SCV kills. They do get some economic damage. But that was an expensive loss for EON. And unfortunately, EON doesn't have the economy to sustain that. Oh my god. As the Libs are still wreaking havoc. But again, EON is only on 69 drones. Nice. It's a nice drone count, but not ideal. As EON is out of minerals. Catches a ghost. He's hoping to force FoxeR to respond, and he will. Okay, good moves out of EON. Being active. Ooh, that is an orbital, not a planetary. More SCVs going down. EON massing up Corruptors. We'll have to respect these Libs, though. Does pull away. Most of the SCVs do survive. Nuke on the gold. Not many workers take advantage of. Ooh, as there's the detection. Yeah, the Ghost, they cloak. They shut down the Ultras. Once again, expensive losses here for EON. Ay. Yeah, and EON, he just can't compare to this kind of army. The Ghost Lib. FoxeR has reached his final form, and the Corruptors are a little bit too little too late. They weren't necessary earlier. If they were available for that earlier fight, then all these Liberators would have been cleaned up. Would have been a different game state. Alas, FoxeR has done it. He's breaking through, snowballing out of control. There are links to defend. Some of the Liberators are falling, but yeah, the Ghosts, they snipe everything. The links, the Corruptors, everything gets sniped. GG! And FoxeR will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. It does go the way of FoxeR. Shout out to EON. EON did have a good performance in the first game. Again, EON, he did have a massive lead, but it slipped through his fingers. Game number 2 was a little bit different. Game number 2, EON did overcommit, did overextend, and did bleed out a lot of his initial Ling Roach Ravager when it came to the move out towards the natural. So EON fell behind, and FoxeR maintained a lead from there. Even though EON did eventually max out with Ling Ultra, again, he was being outscaled by the Terran army of FoxeR, by the Ghosts, by the Liberators. EON wasn't quite able to compare to that kind of setup. And GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to FoxeR. We'll advance on. And with that, we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for our next match. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves.